What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome to a brand new episode of VR 365. Yeah, we are now up to episode 383. 383. We're on our way to the big 400. And that's a lot of episodes. It's a lot of a back catalog that you can possibly explore. Obviously, the information won't be super up to date, but there's a lot of interesting things that have been said on past episodes. A lot of Nostradamus predictions have been made. So maybe go back a couple of years ago and see what I was yapping about way back then. Was I on point or was I completely off the mark? In fact, what you might want to do, ladies and gentlemen, is go back to the very first episode when I was talking about the Oculus Quest 2, when the first Quest 2 information broke. Snapdragon, the name Quest 2, the whole thing, man, because I probably was riffing all about a lot of stuff that I'm going to be getting into in a little bit here today. But yeah, that's neither here nor there. So anyway, guys, what we're doing today is another impromptu show. 3 hours ago, I had no idea I was going to do a show, but a couple of hours ago, I was like, I should do a show real quick. Made a thumbnail, made it happen, and here we are, and we're going to do a show, but it is going to be a bit freestyle in nature, but obviously, I mean, hasn't that pretty much been the way it's been for the last like 6 or 7 shows? Really, very much freestyle in nature, very much sponsored by Wingstop. Okay, so what we're going to get into today is we do have a number of major stories to talk about, obviously. And that's why I'm here, is like if there's something interesting, if there's something exciting, if there's something that I can really riff on, then yeah, I got to show up and I got to do this thing, right? And that's what we're going to get into right now. Sorry about that. Switch to the wrong view here. And so the footage that you guys are seeing on the screen right now, this is actual images from a trailer or a clip that was released at the Resident Evil showcase. And basically what this is, of course, is Resident Evil 4 is coming to the Oculus Quest 2. And that's where this entire thing begins, right? Oculus Quest 2. It's actually happening. And there's a lot of people that are very upset. There's a lot of people upset for PCVR related reasons. We can talk about that as well. But I think we got to go back and talk about the Oculus Quest 2, because if you guys remember, like if you do go back and watch that very first show, I was in a state of shock. Like when I found out that the Oculus Quest 2 was called the Quest 2, I was like, what? Quest 2? Like you're really going to put a number 2 after this thing. If you're putting a number 2 after this thing, that's a whole new ball game. Like you don't just put a number 2 on the end of something. If it's just going to be a minor upgrade, it's a slight improvement. You know, this isn't Quest Lite. It's not Quest Plus. This is Quest 2. They made the decision to have Oculus Quest 2. Like no one put a gun to their head and forced them to decide to go with Oculus Quest 2. They decided to go for it. And I remember back then, I was like, you know what, Oculus, you're kind of in a no man's land because you're calling it a Quest 2, but you're not doing anything that a Quest 2 would do. Because if this is truly a Quest 2, then the Quest 1 is in the dust, and this is a new paradigm. And it's an XR2 processor, right? So you're going to like use the XR2 processor, right? And you're going to use the incredible capabilities that the Oculus Quest 2 brings to the table. Because, oh my God, they added they added eye tracking, they added body tracking, they added foveated rendering. They did so much to the Oculus Quest 2. No, they didn't. They really didn't do that. They threw in an XR2 at basically the last second and said, F it, it's a Quest 2, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to call it a Quest 2. Well, now that you've called it a Quest 2, you've got to like actually follow up on that promise. But originally they were like, oh no, we're not here to kill off the Quest 1. Nah, that's not what we're going to do. This is going to be a slow unraveling. Will there eventually be a game? Will there eventually be a game that maybe requires the Oculus Quest 2 and it doesn't work on Quest 1? Yeah, that might happen, but we're not going to worry about that right now. That could be years away. There's no need to concern yourself with that right now. So in the very beginning, they straddled the fence, I believe, in a lot of ways, and like played both sides. Like they're like, yeah, it's an Oculus Quest 2. It's got the XR2, baby. This is a real 2. But no. We're not going to kill your Quest 1. No, people just bought a Quest 1. How could we do that? No, this is going to be the perfect marriage of these Quest platforms. They're going to coexist peacefully as hell. But the thing is, I made the argument way back when. I was like, well, then what are you doing this for? If you're not going to take advantage of the Oculus Quest 2, if you're not going to push it to the limits, then why call it a 2? Call it the Quest Plus, call it the Quest Lite, call it Quest Junior. I mean, honestly, I think Quest Junior was the best name. I remember when I got my Oculus Quest 2 for the first time and I took it out of the box, I was like, look at this little baby. It's a little baby. I think there's even a video where I'm like, oh, it's such a precious little baby. It's Quest Junior. I was calling it Quest Junior. They did not have to call it Quest 2. That was their decision. And now they've got to live with the ramifications of that. And so, hold on, let me go ahead and change this trailer up because, that is the footage for Resident Evil 4. And we're going to talk more about Resident Evil 4 here in just a minute. But let me grab I'll grab a different miscellaneous trailer here to throw on the screen. Quest related, of course. And so yeah, I mean, the question now, of course, is Oculus really screwing over the Quest 1 users? So, for example, the title of this episode, let me look at it again. Quest 1 is dead. Quest 1 is dead. We hardly knew ye, and the reign of Quest 2 beginneth. And I don't think I spelled beginneth right, but it felt good when I did it, and that's all that matters. Quest 1 is dead. Dead as a doornail, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, so a lot of people are wondering, like, did Oculus screw over Quest 1 owners? Like, is this against the effing rules? And I will say, yeah, but they did it like last, what was it, September? When did we find out about the Quest 2? I know it came out on October 13th on the freaking anniversary of PlayStation VR's arrival, by the way. That was kind of funny how that happened. But the announcement for the Quest 2 happened like, I don't know, was that like 3 weeks before, like a month before? So ever since that point in time, we've known this. They called it the Quest 2. Like, if they're going to call it the Quest 2. So I do feel bad. At the same time, I feel very bad for anybody that bought an Oculus Quest 1 in like the 6 months leading up to that Quest 2 announcement. I feel bad for those people. And I wish companies had a better plan for doing that. Usually what happens is it's just the last 30 days. Like if you bought a Quest 1 in the last 30 days, they'll let you return it and get a Quest 2. And so like somebody that bought something 31 days ago, I mean, god damn, how boned are those people? And I complain, like, cry for Argentina. Cry for me, Argentina. I cried for those people. I did cry for Argentina back at that time because I thought, what about the families, man? Think of the kids. Think of the little kids. No, think of Joe and Sally Walmart. They randomly walked into a Walmart on a sweltering July Sunday in the year 2020, pandemic, they had their masks on and all that shit, and they bought themselves a Quest 1, and they thought they were buying themselves the next generation. They thought they were buying themselves the future of VR. Okay, so that was in July. That was a sweltering summer day in July. It hasn't even been a year yet, bro. It hasn't even been a year yet, and it's killed dead. Raid kills bugs dead. It is dead. It is dead as a doornail. Okay, we also need to come to this conclusion. It's not dead. Okay, it's not dead. My Quest 1 is over there on top of my Vive box. See it? It's on top of my Vive box. I still use my Quest 1 to this very day, ladies and gentlemen. That is my Jurassic World Aftermath station, because Jurassic World Aftermath is on my Quest 1 still. I've got an account trapped on my Quest 1. That's an entirely another story. But the Quest 1 isn't dead. The Quest 1 lives. First of all, this game, Resident Evil 4 VR, it's not available right now. It's not available right now. And that's only one little itty bitty game. What's one little itty bitty game between friends? That's nothing. It's just one little baby game. One little beautiful game. That's it. I mean, come on. We can't get our feathers all ruffled up for one little baby game. I mean, that's not a big deal. Of course, we do know that there is a thing that is happening. Next Wednesday, it is the Oculus Gaming Showcase on April 21st. Lone Echo 2. Is this when you get that uppercut, like that right, left, bam, with the uppercut? Oh yeah, Lone Echo 2, also Quest exclusive. Lone Echo 2, not coming to PCVR. Oh my God, could you imagine the flames that will erupt in the standard Oculus subreddit when Lone Echo 2 does not come to... Actually, I don't think Oculus is going to do that. Here's my Nostradamus prediction. Lone Echo 2 is your last bone. Enjoy it. They're going to throw you one more bone. It's the last one. So if you're that Rift S owner that thought you bought a platform that had a long life, tough titty said the kitty. But you are going to get Lone Echo 2. That is the last bone you're going to get. Because if they take away Lone Echo 2, there will be a straight up riot. But I do believe that next Wednesday at the Oculus Gaming Showcase, I do believe that they will announce Lone Echo 2 is coming to the Oculus Quest 2. And it might be a temporary exclusive with the PC version coming later. It could be something like that. I mean, they might do something stupid like that. But that's going to be Lone Echo 2 is not going to work on the Quest 1, in my opinion. Medal of Honor Above and Beyond. Remember, Respawn Entertainment said that they are going to explore. They're going to spend some resources experimenting and seeing if it is possible to take Medal of Honor Above and Beyond and squeeze it onto an Oculus Quest 2. And it might be possible to do that, but squeezing it down to the Oculus Quest 1, that might be asking a little too much. So we've only got a handful of games here, that might be exclusive. Resident Evil 4, Lone Echo 2, Medal of Honor Above and Beyond. That's only 3 games. Okay, Project 4 Boneworks. Maybe it's possible that Project 4 by Stress Level Zero, the Boneworks game, Project 4, that game might require an Oculus Quest 2 as well, because they're pushing the physics with the XR2. I mean, they called it a Quest 2, so it's time to move on, isn't it? But yeah, so that's kind of my beliefs on this situation. Like, I'm not up in arms over it. I don't think Quest owners should be up in arms over it. If you did buy a Quest in the last couple of months before everything, before we found out everything, yeah, you did get boned, but you knew that then. You knew that you knew that last September. It's not like you're finding out that you got boned just now. And even those people that might think that they have been boned, you still have a very capable headset that can play, that's going to be able to play like 98% of the library in 2021 and in 2022. Because think of the back catalog that is going to have been available. Think of the number of games that are going to be available, and think of the very tiny small number of like a dozen games that require the Quest 2. Now, as we get into 2022, that of course will increase exponentially. There will be a lot more exclusives that will be coming, but initially the library is going to be shared, and you've got better black levels. You've got vibrant colors. See, I still use my Quest 1, and I bounce back and forth. And I'll never forget, I used my Quest 2 for maybe like 3 months, or for a couple of months, and I had not turned on my Quest 1. My Quest 1 was legitimately dusty. I wasn't using it. And I turned on my Quest 1 for the very first time, and holy shit, I was blown away by how unbelievably black the blacks were and how vibrant the logo for Oculus was. And then actually getting into games like Shooty Skies Overdrive, the vibrancies of the colors, the OLED, the color pop. There's still so, and then there's the native IPD adjust, like being at legit IPD adjustment is a huge advantage for those of us that are outliers. So your Quest 1 is still viable. It's not like you're just going to throw it in the trash tomorrow. Is this a changing of the guard? Is this scary? Is this dramatic? Do you have a bit of a crunchy feeling in your, on the side, like you just ran for a couple miles and you're totally out of shape and you really shouldn't have done that? Do you feel a little bit crunchy? You probably do. I mean, if you're a Quest 1 owner and that's all you've got, and this is the days where FOMO begins. Do you have your Doge coins? FOMO is real. So it's going to be interesting. I mean, certainly, no question about it. So anyway, the first topic that we were getting into here was Resident Evil 4 VR confirmed as the first Oculus Quest, the Oculus Quest 2 exclusive. It is the first Quest 2 exclusive. It is the beginning of an entirely new era. The reign of the Quest 2 beginneth. It beginneth now. Well, not quite now. It begins when this game is released. And speaking of that of course is the next story that we're going to go into. So yeah, the next story is that Capcom has had a press release, and they basically confirmed that Resident Evil 4 VR is coming to the Quest 2 this year. So this is going to be a 2021 release. And personally, I believe, so here's the thing, like those of you that don't know, like this game was leaked forever ago. Like we have a game profile page on VRGameRankings.com. We've got a game profile page for Resident Evil 4 VR that we've had since like, when did that rumor come out? Was it in December or something like that? Like it's confirmed as far as we're concerned. Now, in our upcoming Oculus Quest rankings, we did have a little rumor thing that was on the picture for Resident Evil 4 VR, but it was all but confirmed. I mean, this leak was an aggressive leak. Like they got everything. Like everything was completely laid out. And the time of release was laid out as well. And it was supposed to be April. And I guarantee you, I bet my bottom dollar that this game this was going to be one of these things, and it's available now. It's available now on the Oculus Quest. This was going to be available in April. This really was. I think the only reason that we're not going to play Resident Evil 4 VR in April is because of that leak. Now they don't want to like just give credit to that leak, so maybe they'll delay the game a little bit and it'll be on hold a little bit. Now, one of the questions we got to get into, of course, though, is does this even really matter? Is this that big of a deal? Like, of all the Resident Evil games that you would want to play in VR, like how high up is this on your list? Now, I understand it from a technological standpoint. We're obviously, we're talking about an Oculus Quest 2 here, and we're talking about the year that this game was made, the kind of polygons that it's running with, that sort of thing. We're talking about maybe 72 hertz. I don't know if this will possibly run at 90 hertz, but this era with these numbers of polygons and these kind of background graphics, this type of stuff can work on a Quest. That's probably why it was specifically chosen in terms of Resident Evil 4. But like, are you super hyped to play this? Like, truly though. And is it more than just a little nostalgic thing where it's like, yeah, I'm super curious to see what this looks like. And yeah, I remember being in this like weird European village, and Resident Evil 4 starts out very kind of weird and strange. It's a different kind of a vibe, and that would be cool in VR. And I admit it, like I go back for GameCube. I had Resident Evil 4 for GameCube. It was a super big deal because Resident Evil 4 was exclusive to the GameCube for a set period of time. And then, of course, after that, it came everywhere. But for a set period of time, like GameCube owners, like it was the one thing that they held up high and was like, yes, we've got Resident Evil 4 and you don't. But I remember playing it back in the GameCube days, and I enjoyed it well enough, but also this is like a very long game. Like this is like a 16-hour banger. And I know there's people that like really want these long games and they've been craving these long games. I actually love it the way we already have it in VR with like really short bite-sized experiences. Those are fine with me. Like I'm perfectly good with these relatively short games. Of course, I rarely finish anything. I start a million games. I sample a million games. I quickly get distracted by this game, that game, this game, that game. I'm playing like 8 or 9 games at the same time, and I never really get that far into any particular game. Unless it really catches my fancy, something like Transference really caught my fancy. I completely finished that, but that was a relatively short game. But like, is this that major of a deal? So another angle we can go to, let's go ahead and switch back over here. Another angle that we can get into is, what about the PCVR angle? We forget about PCVR players. These are the redheaded stepchildren of the VR gaming world at this point right now, right? If you are a tried and true PCVR gamer and you want high-end stuff, you want next level type gaming, man, it's bad news for you, bro, because the world is not heading in your direction. It's just not heading in your direction. And this is just another example of it. What did I used to always say? Rice gum, you just lost one. Rice gum, you just lost one. Yeah, so PC VR gaming, god damn it, did you lose one? You lost a big one. You lost Oculus, the company that was funneling way more money than any other company out there into high-end PC VR gaming. And you got some good stuff when it lasted. Does anybody remember Brass Tactics? Goddamn, Brass Tactics was the shiznit. I want to go back and play some Brass Tactics. Stormland. Freaking Robo Recall. Remember Robo Recall? Remember when we first got Robo Recall? Okay, what else? The Climb, the first Climb. Yeah, the Climb 2 never came, right? The Climb 2 never came. This is the reality, man. So people are wondering, like, why is Oculus doing this? Like, okay, I'm gonna be dude, why, man? Why is Oculus doing this, dude? Why don't they, dude, they made Resident Evil 4 VR, man. They made it on a PC. Like, why don't they just give us the code, man? Just put it on the Oculus store. You're not hurting anybody, man. You can do it with the Climb 2 as well, man. That's my PC gamer voice, Matt. But They don't care. They don't care about you. So here's the thing. The problem is they can't get away from the PC fast enough. Okay? And why is it? Why do they want to get away from the PC? For a whole bunch of reasons. But number one, they have no control over the platform. They have no control over the operating system. They have no control over exactly what your specs are. They can't control the experience. They can't guarantee that you're not going to have some serious problem on your computer that degrades the experience that would have been perfectly fine if you didn't have all this like spyware loaded on your PC or what. They want to get off of that. They don't want to have this ball and chain of a $900 tower that you got to have to be able to. So there's so many reasons to get off of PC. And if you are a graphics whore and you like stuff like this, you know, Heart of the Emberstone, which was freaking badass as hell and one of the best PCVR games. I mean, if you're into like bomb-ass PCVR games that are pushing the boundaries, I mean, I'm into them as well. I mean, think of something like freaking Boneworks, dude. I mean, there's a great game that I need to go back to, dude. Boneworks was so effing underrated. And like these kinds of experiences, you know, you're not going to, it's hard. It's going to be very hard to do this on an Oculus Quest 2. Now, I know Stress Level Zero is actually trying to do this exact thing right now. When they're working on Project 4, they're going to try to get as much of this as they can, but, you know, let's face facts. And so I'm not a PCVR hater. Like it is, dude, the capabilities of PCVR are amazing. That's where you see the cutting edge. That's, you know, I remember Fallout 4 VR, like playing Fallout 4 VR, playing Skyrim VR when it finally came to PCVR after being on PlayStation VR. And just some of the most beautiful PCVR games that really push your graphics card. And yeah, I mean, I understand the loss that we're going to face there. I mean, it is a catastrophe. This is a disaster. If you are a hardcore PCVR gamer, this is a huge disaster. Because what this means is the quality level, the general quality level of the kind of games you're going to get is really going to fall off an effing cliff. Because, I mean, we talked about it way back in the days. We talked about the questicle angle. And the Quest, if like we're truly, truly honest about this, if we're 100% honest about this, the Quest is the worst thing that could have ever happened to PC VR gaming. It really is, because it's just lowering the bar. You know, it's just completely lowering the bar. And so it's, you know, the lowest common denominator. It becomes a lowest common denominator situation. And so we're going to be in a world where a lot of the PC games that we're going to play are essentially questicles. Lies Beneath, you know, Lies Beneath. Lies Beneath is the perfect effing example. That's our future. Our future is Lies Beneath. That hurts. That does hurt. And so that is it's a major loss for all involved, you know. So I feel the heartache of the PCVR player. On the flip side, like if I want to try to spin this in a positive note, well, you know, there's going to be a Quest 3. There's going to be a Quest 4. There's going to be a Quest 5. They're going to keep getting better. Mobile is going to keep getting better. I know there's a lot of people that are like, but no, mobile can never keep pace. You know, that the diminishing returns are already happening. You know, Moore's Law is dead. And so we're just not going to get the kind of stuff on a Quest. You know, we're just not going to get the same type of stuff. And I understand that, but it's going to get better. I mean, definitely the Quest 3 is going to get better. Quest 4 is going to get better. And honestly, it's the way this is the way that the industry has to move forward. Ultimately, what do we ultimately all want? We all want Grand Theft Auto VR. I mean, come on. We all want a legitimate Grand Theft Auto VR. And the only way that ever happens is with 30 million active VR users. And 30 million active VR users is never going to happen without a product like the Quest 2 and like the Quest 3. It's a necessary evil. This is the reality. If you want to play Red Dead Redemption VR, if you want to play Call of Duty VR, if you want to play Battlefield VR, if you want to play FIFA VR, if you want to play NBA 2K VR, if you want to play Madden VR, these games are never coming. Unless, if you want to play Forza Horizon VR, if you want to get to a day where Microsoft is dragged kicking and screaming into the modern day VR world, you've got to have a platform with 30 million active users. And it's just mandatory. This is the reality. So it's an interesting world that we're in. This is an interesting inflection point. This is the inflection point. Okay, so let's go to the Webinator and let's take a look at some stories that are going on in the VR gaming world today. And so Facebook, no Quest Pro in 2021 with Quest 2 in market for a long while. Okay, so this comes from the category of talking out of both sides of your goddamn mouth. Bosworth, talking out of both sides of your goddamn mouth. Well, I'm saying from some of his little Instagram, little video winks and shit like that, right? Okay, it says Facebook won't release an Oculus Quest Pro in 2021, and Quest 2 is expected to be in market and selling to buyers for a long while. This is weird, though, because it's like, God damn, don't we get a lot of mixed messages? Don't you remember when every YouTuber under the effing sun had a Quest 3 video? Because Zuckerberg mentioned a Quest 3 in the quarterly earnings report. And it's like, oh my God, Quest 3 revealed. Thank God I'm not one of those YouTubers. I just got to say it, though, seriously, that I'm not so desperate like that. But I'm not because I just haven't blown up. If I had blown up, I would be just as desperate as everybody else trying to maintain it. So the only reason I wasn't desperate because I never popped. So actually, I shouldn't really talk shit about that. But yeah, I mean, so we've heard about Quest 3. We've heard potentially about a Quest Pro. You know, I think Mike Verdu at one time was talking about like continual iterations. So they've dropped these nuggets over time that really suggested that there's going to be this a constant refresh of the hardware quickly. But it appears that right now, what they're going to do is they're going to hold on to the Quest 2. I actually have not read this story, so hopefully that's basically what they're saying here. But I haven't checked out this story yet. But I kind of thought this was the case because there was one thing that Zuckerberg said. At the last earnings report, Zuckerberg talked about how this could be the first mainstream VR platform. And in his words, a mainstream VR platform is 10 million users. You got to hit that 10 million user mark. And so I always thought, like, if they come out with a Quest 3, like in spring of 2022, how does the Quest 2 get this like strong 10 million user on there, 10 million user base, and like hold on to that 10 million user base for a while and not immediately piss them off with a Quest 3 right away? So I think they're going to hold on to the Quest 2 for a minute and roll with the Quest 2. Although truthfully, does anyone on planet Earth believe anything that Oculus says? Because they tend to change their mind so quickly. So we can't really believe anything. So yeah, let's see what else is going on here in the world today. Well, obviously, Racket Fury adds 120 hertz support for Quest 2. This is a game I would like to check out. Does it already support 120 hertz? Of course, you have to have the newest update, which I'm not sure if I have it or not. Cubism is another game that also supports 120 hertz. Cubism, by the way, is the highest rated Oculus Quest game by review score, 4.9. 4.9 out of 5 for cubism. Of course, as you have thousands and thousands of additional people review your game, it becomes exponentially harder to hold on to such a high score like that. But yeah, I just wanted to mention that cubism possibly quite underrated. Racket Fury on the Quest is a fantastic game, feels very, very good, and I would like to try that 120 hertz at some point in time. So yeah, we heard about that. And yeah, there is this version 28 of the software. Airlink, Facebook is adding subscription supports to the Quest. This is interesting too, because here's the thing. So I was like doing some research on the Quest store randomly, and I was like looking up games and release dates and like prices and things like that. And I ended up on Fit VR. Is it Fit XR or Fit VR? You know, it used to be Box VR, right? But they changed their name. Is it Fit VR or Fit XR? Okay, so I ended up on Fit XR's store page for the Quest, and it said free. And I was like, what? Since when is Fit XR free? Like, this wasn't free. Now it's free. And it turns out what happened is that actual day was the day that they announced subscriptions, and I kind of saw it a little bit early. But yeah, so basically what they're doing here, we can go to the Oculus Quest store, and there's a number of different games like Supernatural. Basically what they're doing is they're now allowing this capability for you to have subscription-based gaming. And so Fit XR, see, we can see it right here. It says free. Like, I was like, what? Free? When did this happen? It's free because it's like a free trial. You know, they're kind of doing like the Supernatural thing, right? So yeah, so it's free, but then you could add like these extra things that add on. You know, this is kind of weird though. What happens to all the people that spent like $29.99 or whatever the hell it was for like the real version, and then they make it free? Like, I was just thinking about this as well with The Under Presents. You know that one game, like, I bought The Under Presents. I paid cash money for The Under Presents. Did not get a key from Tender Claus. I paid cash money for this, and then they make it free. Now, technically, I know it's a demo, and so like, you know, it's not really totally free, but it's kind of weird. It's like, what do they do to the people that they paid the full price for this stuff, and now all of a sudden they're making it free? But yeah, so Oculus is doing the subscription thing. You know, some people are up in arms about this, and they're like, oh, here we go. Now we're going down a new rabbit hole with subscriptions. Well, I've never been the guy to get caught up in that stuff anyway, because the thing is, that type of gaming, like gaming as a service, gaming as a service where you just play like one game for a year, and you're just buying all these packs, and you're buying all these cards, and you're buying all these loot boxes, and you're getting this, and like, I've never been that guy. I don't play one game for a year. I'm not the one game. In fact, those games, if anything, turn me off. Like, I run away from those games. Like any like Minecraft game, or like some game where it's like you just get lost and then that's all you do. I'm not the guy for that. I have no time for that. Oh, hell no. You can miss me with that shit. So you're never getting me with these goddamn subscriptions. The only way that you would ever get me with some kind of subscription is if you had a Viveport Infinity competitor from Oculus, and we sure as hell know that isn't happening. There's no way that's happening. They're not going to give away the store like Vive is giving away the store. By the way, my Vive Quest my Viveport Infinity subscription is about to run out, and I need to, I think I'm going to actually cancel it. As much as I talk about Viveport Infinity, there is this renter's guilt that you get, and then also it's like the backlog. But I still I can't, and Viveport Infinity, I'm going to cancel my yearly subscription so it just doesn't automatically recharge me for another year. But here's what I will do. I am canceling it, yeah. So it's like, Anthony, you're talking out of both sides of your mouth. You're saying that Viveport Infinity is quite literally the best deal in VR gaming by a country mile. You've said this a million times, Anthony, and you're canceling your subscription? So what the F happened to the best deal by a country mile? Okay, so here's the thing. Yeah, I'm canceling my subscription, but I can wait like a couple of months and then buy a couple of months of Infinity. Check out all the good shit that has recently arrived. Then I can bounce out again. Couple of months later, sign back up. So that's kind of how I'm going to play it now, because I've had Infinity for a while. I've played a lot of the back catalog stuff that, fell beneath the cracks for me or in between the cracks. So, and what happens is when new games come to Infinity, there are new games that do arrive on Viveport Infinity on a pretty regular basis, but you're waiting. So like, you could skip a couple of months of Infinity for sure. You could I'm skipping Infinity for 3 months. And then when I come back, there's going to be a whole lot of extra shit that I haven't seen in a minute. And so you can do that. So yeah, I don't know. Also, I have a tremendous backlog. Unbelievable backlog of tons of games coming out the yin yang. So I've got enough games to cover me. And so that's what we're talking about here. Also in the news, Frostpoint VR shut down. I just happened to see the trailer there, and it's like, yeah, man, talk about the games that died, ladies and gentlemen. What do we think about the games that have died? The games that have died a brutal death. Frostpoint VR. In Exile Entertainment. How does this happen? Frostpoint VR Proving Grounds. Wow. So let's go ahead and switch over to webinator.com. You have now entered the land of the webinal. This is Frostpoint VR Proving Grounds, and it is mostly mofo negative. Not a good look. Mostly negative. Goddamn, check this out. 18 reviews and mostly negative. Talk about a double whammy. I don't know why I'm laughing or smiling. This is not fun. This is not good. Dude, In Exile Entertainment is a legit effing developer. They got bought out by Microsoft. Microsoft was like, we don't give a damn about VR, bro. So you might as well just quit working on that dumbass game you're working on, or just shit it out and forget about it, because we don't like VR. Now, I'm not saying they did that. But like, when I think of In Exile Entertainment, what do I think about? The Mage's Tale. And in the early days, man, this game right here, The Mage's Tale, which originally was an Oculus Rift exclusive in the good old days of PCVR. Do you guys remember the good old days of PCVR? When Zuck was Zuck and Jason Rubin was Jason Rubin, and he was your right-hand man, and he said The Mage's Tale was about to come out, it's going to blow your mind, and you believed every word. And it did blow your mind. I remember The Mage's Tale, when I first started playing The Mage's Tale, I was playing it on a Vive, and I was using Revive, and let me tell you, this game is the freaking poster child for wanting to have a legitimate Oculus Rift CV1 and to have the real controllers in your hands, the ones that melt in your hands. So when I was first playing The Mage's Tale, this was next gen though. For real. The Mage's Tale was like a big ass VR game for a minute, if you don't remember this. But when this came out, like the day this came out on the Oculus Rift, this was a banger. You can probably go back to a VR roundtable show where me, Steve, and Gary are all talking about. This was one of the first games where it had like actual voice work and shit. It was like an actual production, and you were pretty impressed by it. You play it now, you might think it's weak sauce, but I'm telling you, back when it first hit, it was legit. And the thing is, there was something called the Summer of Rift, where there was an amazing deal on an Oculi Rift. And I ran my ass over to Best Buy, grabbed that puppy, And I'll tell you what, man, one of the first things I fired up, Robo Recall. Okay, that was the first thing I fired up to try with the native controllers. But then it was the Mage's Tale. And I just feel bad for inXile Entertainment. But, you know, I know nobody liked Frostpoint. Nobody liked Frostpoint. So what do you say about that? And then also in VR, if you make an FPS type game like this, you're entering some choppy ground, man. I mean, you're entering a battlefield like none other. There are so many of these games that are competing against each other, and there's not enough people to populate them all. I thought the running around, I was in a little preview build of this, or some kind of or a demo or something. I remember right before this was about to come out, I got a chance to play this, some kind of demo, or I forget what the scenario was, but I was like legitimately excited because I was like, dude, these fools made the Mage's Tale. Hell yeah, I want to see what they got going on. Even though I'm not a multiplayer guy at all, but I still like jumping in there and seeing like what the backgrounds look like and how smooth does everything work and everything. And I remember running around up in this little place, and I was like, I'm not feeling this at all. I am not feeling this at all. But yeah, no, I do not want to root for a game to die like that. Termination of service notice. Ouch. Hello, everyone. We have an important announcement for all of our users. You are boned. On May 9th, 2021, Frostpoint VR Proving Grounds will be deactivated. Yeah, that freaking sucks. I mean, that really does suck. It does happen. There are some other games like that. Pour one out for all the various games that have fallen off the charts. It does happen, Johnny. But yeah, so there was that Frostpoint news. Let's see what other things are going on in the news. NVIDIA expects supply shortage to last much of this year. Yeah, it's, things are not going very well. And things are not going incredibly well in PCVR gaming land. But, puzzling places, this is good news. Like, we've got to be happy for these companies right here, for you to have a game on the App Lab and then you're able to go to the official store. So this is pretty much what every App Lab developer is dreaming of. This is what they dream about. They dream about their game blowing up on App Lab and then going to the official store. Now, part of this also is this game hit App Lab, and then there was a trailer for it coming to PlayStation VR, like a legit trailer and everything. And Oculus probably saw that. They're like, oh, this game's actually pretty cool. It's actually coming to PlayStation VR. Maybe we should actually give it a chance in our real store. It is one of the best rated App Lab games of the App Lab stuff that is out there. This is one of the highest rated ones, right up there with Ancient Dungeon. Those are like the two bangers. Although there's a million things. There's a million things that have come out on App Lab. It is, dude, I was trying to make like an App Lab page for VR game rankings, and I added like 40 things or whatever it was, and there's just a freaking avalanche, man. There's just too much. It's just out of control. I've heard that Swarm is freaking awesome. I've heard that. Oh, VR Skater. I wonder if I have a trailer for VR Skater on here. Probably not, because it's probably not on this PC. But let me double check. So VR Skater has been dated, apparently. We've been waiting for that forever. They've had a lot of, on their Twitter for VR Skater, they've had a ton of little GIFs and stuff that they've been showing off forever. Ah, man, I don't have the trailer for VR Skater. Let's see, though. If we go back, I wonder if they finally got a Steam page, because they never had a Steam page. VR Skater. Oh, there we go. Okay, so they finally got a Steam page. About time, bruh. Okay, yeah, Deficit Games. Yeah, so we've been following this game on VR Game Rankings for a long time. Because if you don't know... Oh, by the way... Probably should give you guys a quick little update on VR Game Rankings. So I can't really announce anything because papers have not been signed, and I's have not been dotted, and T's haven't been crossed, and all those kinds of things, right? But unless there's like some catastrophic failure in the next week or so, it does appear that VR Game Rankings is actually going to live. VR Game Rankings is going to be alive, and I will continue to be a part of VR Game Rankings, and I will continue to be banging away on VR Game Rankings content and updating VR Game Rankings rankings. And in fact, right now, I'm actually working on the Oculus Quest rankings. Every Oculus Quest game ranked, there's like 160 of them, or maybe even more. And so I will be doing that. And so basically what I'm saying here is that I believe VR Game Rankings is actually going to survive. So that is very good news. But yeah, the reason I mention that is at VR Game Rankings, we do have like our most wanted charts, and VR Skater has always been in the mix. You know, it's always been one of the ones that we've been covering here, and we've been looking forward to it, because ever since Skater, remember on like Xbox, was it Xbox 360? Yeah, I think it was Xbox 360, or Skate, EA's Skate. God, that was the shit. And that's what everybody wants, like that game in VR. Now, the thing that I wonder about this, here's what I don't understand. I don't understand how you're not going to have like a lot of motion sickness though. Because the thing is, when it comes to motion sickness, like in any of these kinds of games where you have a lot of movement that's coming at you, right? Usually the way that you deal with this is you have like indicators that are in somebody's face, or like some kind of like bars or something that can give you an anchor to like, I'm here, this is me, and I'm moving through something. You know, so like if you're in a cockpit or something, you have the cockpit. And then so the stuff that's actually moving is just a small segment of your visual field. But in VR Skater, like I haven't played it, I don't know, maybe they've done some videos and they've talked about how this won't have motion sickness. But like when you think about it, if you're standing on a skateboard, you've got your hands obviously for like balancing or whatever you use your hands for. And your hands can help a little bit with that. That might be what you really have to do. You might have to be in a situation where you're really going to have to like keep your hands in your view to not get like start feeling woozy. Because typically if you're just standing on your skateboard and you've got this whole open space that you're just looking at that's just wide open, there's no grid or anything to like give you an anchor. Like, I would think motion sickness would be out of control. But I don't know. Maybe not. So April 30th. Yeah, April is happening. I have not really been keeping up, honestly, guys, with like brand new VR releases and stuff. Like, I've been kind of out of it. I mean, I know there's a lot of games that have been, like, for example, let's look at like games that have released on, are these VR games? Is it okay? Virtual reality on Steam. Yeah, let's browse all new releases. Just like I'm just want to see like, has anything really big come out that I was watching really intensely prior? Oh, this little alien thing came out. Simple Project. I remember taking a look at this just because I do like aliens, and I have always thought it would be cool to like simulate an alien abduction type thing in VR and have an entire story. But this is just like one dude that made this. So like I don't have great expectations for this. $8. But yeah, these are the great things for Viveport Infinity. Did you know that AD 2047 is on Viveport Infinity? And I've actually played it, but it's like 100% in Chinese. Like everything is in Chinese, every little menu and everything. And so I was just hitting random buttons and I don't know what the hell I'm doing. And I got stuck. But yeah, they don't have the English version. Oh, Traffic Jams. Traffic Jams came out. This is the one that made Cass and Cherry famous. They're in the trailer for it, right? Yeah, so Traffic Jams and reviews are positive. Little Chicken Game Company, Vertigo Games, published on this one. But yeah, I've been out of it, so I'm just wondering what's come out. District Steel, bro! District Steel! I wish. Where is District Steel? Do you know that we've been checking on District Steel since 2014. I had a DK2 and I tried a preview build. No, I'm just kidding. But dude, we've known about District Steel for a long time, but it's still not happening. Okay, so Traffic Jams came out. Space Slurpees came out. I believe this is on Viveport Infinity, so I'll probably check this out. I got like a day or two before my thing cancels. Floor Plan 2, that one recently came out. Yeah, that one came out. Cosmo Dread. Do you know I played Cosmo Dread? Let me see if I got a Cosmo Dread trailer. I could talk about it for a quick second. Wasn't all that impressed though. Gotta be honest. Was not really feeling Cosmo Dread. Okay, let me see if I got a Cosmo Dread trailer. Well, Cosmophobia, I have that, but that's what it was, right? Cosmophobia. Oh, wait. Doing the wrong thing here. One sec. Cosmophobia. Grab this quick trailer and talk about it for a quick minute. Yeah, Cosmophobia. Wait. Oh, I'm in the wrong folder. Hold on. I know there's a Cosmophobia up in here. Upcoming PCVR games. It's probably in this one. Cosmophobia. Yeah, there we go. Okay, yeah. So Cosmo Dread. This came out on the Oculus Quest and on PCVR. And it actually hit Viveport Infinity. You know, so I mean, there is a reason. I mean, some games actually come to Viveport Infinity right away. And some games like say they're coming to Viveport Infinity and you're waiting like 2 or 3 months for them to finally arrive. That's if there is a negative on Viveport Infinity, the negative is you'll see these coming soon games that will take forever. But this was not one of these. This is one of those immediate arrival games. So I was pretty excited to play this because I was one of the people that liked Dread Halls. I was a fan of Dread Halls. I liked Dread Halls. I mean, it was incredibly simple, the whole concept of Dread Halls, but just kind of like running and like just like going through a dark dungeon type thing. I mean, everything made sense. So this game here, I didn't play it for that long. I had a lot of I was really struggling with the controls, like struggling with trying to like, you know, this like weird bow gun thing that you have. Like I would get extra clips and I would try to put my clips into the gun and it would like sometimes work and sometimes it wouldn't work. And I don't know, it seemed really janky. I don't know if it was just the Viveport version that I was trying. Maybe there was some extra jank because of Viveport or something. But I was not impressed at all. But I barely freaking touched it. It was so basically I went in it, played it for a little while, got incredibly frustrated with the controls, and then basically quit and was going to play it again and just didn't do it. But yeah, so not a huge fan of Cosmo Dread, I would say, personally. Let's see. How was the review, though, on... The thing is, some of these games, the reviews, like, I don't know, sometimes you can't trust reviews because sometimes there's too much of a backstory and there's too much of like, yeah, toxic positivity, man. We know this one dude, he made Dread Halls. It was a singular dude that made Dread Halls, White Door Games. So even if his next game is kind of disappointing, I'm going to pretend it isn't because it's toxic positivity, everybody. It happens. But maybe I'm wrong. So this is very positive, 141 reviews. Here's my question to chat. Toxic positivity, bro? Or is this real? Is Cosmo Dread actually decent? Like if this dude had never made Dread Halls, and if you didn't know this dude from a freaking doornail, would you really be tripping on this game? That's what I want to know, because I don't know. I believe that there is like this groupthink thing that happens. It's a thing that happens, y'all. It's real. But I don't know if it's, I mean, I just went in and played this for, okay, here's somebody not recommended, brah. Not recommended. And this guy's got 250 products, so you can trust him so well. Well, he's saying it's so close to wonderful. It's a roguelike horror game with a brilliant aesthetic and, unlike so many other VR horror entries, actually has some shine to it. They really managed to do a fun job with body horror enemies that don't look like cheap Silent Hill or Dead Space dime store clones. And I know I bought this literally on release, so I'm hoping I can turn this review around and see doesn't it. God, this guy's really going above and beyond the Call of Duty to like explain his freaking gripes with the game. Some of these issues are actively being addressed, including a patch literally the next morning addressing invisible enemies and slow walk speed. Okay. Yeah, I mean, it does seem like it's mostly recommended. Maybe I just need... Okay, this guy received product for free, though, brah. Received product for free. Disregard. Yeah, I don't know. I guess I got to go back into it. But I wonder if when I go back into it, I'm going to realize, no, you know what? My original opinion was on the money. This is toxic positivity. It is toxic positivity. Onakaze. Also, I do believe toxic positivity has a source, and that source is Canada? No, that source is California. Yeah. Okay, so that's Cosmo Dread. Let's go back to the webinator. Or we are on the webinator. Let's go to Road to VR and see what these fools are doing. Okay, so I've heard about this thing called Wanderer, but guess what? I haven't checked it out yet. Now, here's what I'll do. I will check it out live, but I'm not going to run the sound. Because if I run the sound, do you know this, ladies and gentlemen? If I run the sound of this trailer, I will lose potentially 27 cents. I will lose 27, like I'm taking food off of my family's table. 27 cents worth of butter will not come my way if I actually run the audio for this trailer. Yeah, Wanderer is old news. Well, it's good. It's new news to me, brah. No, I know this. I heard about this a couple of days ago. People were talking about it in the PlayStation VR type of place. You know, those PlayStation VR mofos? They were talking about Wanderer, but I haven't seen it, and I'm going to mute this, and I'm going to play this, and I will just make comments on it based on what I see. PlayStation logo, not impressed. No, I'm just kidding. Okay, oh, it's kind of got a Last of Us feel. The Last of Us. Odd Boy. Oh, cool logo, bruh. Really does look like The Last of Us quite a bit. I just swallowed some water into the wrong pipe. You know, it does have a really gritty look to it. It does kind of have this like post-apocalyptic I Am Legend. We are starting to see a little bit of the... Oh, dude, whenever you use TVs like that, that shit looks perfect in VR. Whenever they do that, it looks absolutely perfect. The other game that does that is... what is that game called? The duck game, the stress level 0 with ducks, Duck Season. It does that a lot. It has a lot of like TVs with like TV footage that's on the TV. And there's something about the resolution of our headsets with a television that has video running on it. It's basically the same as real life, pretty much. You know, like 1970s version anyway. But yeah, so this is Wanderer. I've never seen this trailer before. Graphically does look pretty impressive in some of these opening sequences. Summer 2021, Wanderer VR. I'm going to let it start over again one more time. Yeah, duck season. Excuse me. Yeah, so that's very Last of Us right there, just looking down that hallway. And Odd Boy, M Theory. Everybody's got to have a cool, edgy logo, though, bro. I mean, like, this little depth of fit, like, is that actual PlayStation VR footage right there, man? Because it doesn't really look like it. Like, if the game really effing looked like that, if the alligators really looked like that, that would be pretty sweet. But yeah, so anyway, this is Wander. I did hear about this game. Okay, so back over here to Road to VR. Yeah, Puzzle Bobble VR is releasing on the Quest on May 20th, and there's a new trailer for that one. Carly and the Reaper Man is coming to Quest. Did that already come out? I think that just came out already. But yeah, I guess I pretty much have covered most of everything. I mean, I haven't talked about Airlink and virtual desktop and that whole situation. And it is a situation, you know. And then there's also like the keyboard and desk tracking. Like all of that is really cool. Like I don't have any, the only real problem I have with this whole entire thing, because here's the deal. Guy Godin, let's see if I can switch back over here. And I'll throw a different trailer in the window while I talk about this. And I will use something like Alvo, which just came out on PlayStation VR very recently. You want to talk about toxic... Okay, dude, you want the definition of toxic positivity? Alvo on the PlayStation VR subreddit. Like, no one will allow you not to like Alvo. Regardless of whether it's any good at all, you have to like Alvo or you are just a bad person. Maybe it's a really great game and maybe it deserves all the love it can get. But there's definitely a level of toxic positivity with that game on PSVR subreddit. I mean, like a group think, you know what I mean? Like that group think going on. But yeah, so to talk about virtual desktop and Airlink in this whole situation, look, Guy Godin really doesn't have. Oh, he's in the chat. Oh, okay, he's in chat. Yeah. So Guy Godin, you can respond to this and say whatever you want if you want. But what I was going to basically say is, I don't think Guy Godin has a ton to like complain about in this whole thing, because honestly, if I'm Guy Godin, I'm hella pleased that it took this long for this to happen. And even though it's basically kind of happening now, like it's still going to take a while for everything to unravel and to even see, like, does this really completely kill virtual desktop 100%? Maybe not, you know, maybe not. And I mean, I could imagine Guy, like if I was talking to Guy privately and I was like, Guy, did you really think it would take Facebook this long to do this? Or did you think this would have happened a year ago? Like, I believe if we were just talking candidly off camera and there was no interview or anything, I believe he'd say, yeah, I definitely expected this a long time ago. I can't believe I got as much time as I did to be basically the sole provider of what this is. So I don't think Guy has a tremendous amount to complain about from that standpoint. Now, what he does have to complain about, what I think he can complain about is, do you guys remember when they approved virtual desktop? Remember when that was the big story? That virtual desktop got approved finally for the official Oculus Store for streaming, and instead of the App Lab? Remember like when all the App Lab thing was happening and we're like, oh, They approved, so virtual desktop, we can use it now. You don't have to side quest it. You can use the actual virtual desktop app and you can stream now. How surprising that was. We all thought, like I thought 100% it had to do with App Lab. I thought it was a very specific App Lab thing. See, I thought what happened was they got caught in a situation where they couldn't deny him on App Lab because that wouldn't make any sense. And if they put him on App Lab, then they kind of almost just look bad because they're basically allowing him to do what he wanted to do. So they were caught between a rock and a hard place, right? So I thought that was all about App Lab. But come to think of it, that had nothing to do with App Lab. It had nothing to do with App Lab. It had to do with what they were about to do with well, maybe not nothing to do with App Lab, but it didn't have as much to do with App Lab as we thought it did. I think it had a lot more to do with the fact that like a month later they're going to be announcing Airlink. So it's like, yeah, let's allow virtual desktop to be on the official Quest store. People can use it, people can stream, and then like a month or so later, bam, then we launch Airlink. So yeah, I don't know. That's kind of weird. I mean, I thought the timing of all of that was a little bit weird. But yeah, I haven't looked into a lot of this stuff. I've been kind of out of it, guys. I mean, really, honestly, I haven't really been into VR quite as much as I have been in the past. And just like, I mean, I haven't been doing videos on this channel. And so I don't pay attention to every little detail anymore. I just, like, sometimes there's multiple, like sometimes like 3 or 4 days will go by and I haven't even seen what's on Upload VR or Road to VR. I don't even know. Like, I found out about this Airlink thing when I was on Twitter and I saw somebody tweeting about it. Like, I don't even look at news anymore and stuff. But hopefully I'll get back to it. I'm going to get back into it. Honestly, for this show, I'm thinking of having, like, I'm thinking at some point in this summer, maybe, I might start doing another daily show. Like an actual daily show. But it's only going to be like 15 to 20 minutes. So it's going to be like a quick hitter, a quick banger. Like 15 or 20 minute little daily banger. And I'll just come on and riff about the day's stories, probably. Very little effort. Very little effort. All right. Well, anyway, guys, I think I've covered pretty much the stuff that I mainly wanted to cover today. And I'm glad to just get another show up on here. I don't want people to think like, oh, dude, VR365 is dead. He's never coming back. No, VR365 still exists. I'm just kind of on chill mode right now, man. I'm on chill mode. I'm not really tripping that hard. But I'm going to get back in the mix pretty soon, and I'll be doing this stuff a little bit more often and maybe switching some things up. But it's been busy. It's been really busy. Off the field drama, basically, is what I could say. Lots of off the field drama. I'm living like Deshaun Watson or something. All right. But yeah, so that's going to pretty much do it for this episode of VR 365. This was episode 383 of the show. And yeah, that's going to go ahead and do it. So we'll see everybody next time. Have a good one. Take it easy and later.